there's been a very interesting attack on the digital supply chain and the digital infrastructure of Russia and Belarus. It's directly related to the invasion of Ukraine, and what makes this so interesting is that it is completely undetectable by any antivirus or security suite software. So there's some questions that come up. How does it work? What impact did it have? And my personal favorite, what could possibly go wrong? Now, this attack, this code, is so nefarious that it has garnered one of the highest security impact ratings scores of 9.8 of 10. So it's pretty bad. And to understand the impact, we do have to touch on how it works, at least very, very briefly. So it's code, and the code was obfuscated, so you couldn't really, even if you're a seasoned developer, understand what it actually does. And now you'd think, well, this is random code. Why is this relevant? Well, let's have a quick peep at just a tiny bit of what it does. It checks if you have a public IP in Russia or Belarus. It will go through your directory structure on your hard drives, and it will wipe everything. To be precise, it will replace the data with heart emojis. And this is not just some random code. It is very, very popular code. It's node-ipc. And to give you a feeling for how popular it has 72 million downloads, and it averages 4.7 million downloads every month. Now, you wouldn't install this or download this yourself on your computer. Usually, it's a dependency, so it will be automatically integrated into other applications. And it had trust before this has happened. It was used for completely viable applications and did exactly what it was supposed to do. But suddenly, it changed, and it started deleting things. So how did that happen? Just a quick brief view. So if you'd create an application and you would let people log into this application, or you would let people upload photos into the application, you wouldn't program or code all these features. You would use ready libraries that are specialized on doing these exact things. So you depend on a library handling logins, you depend on a library handling photos and photo uploads. And these then start depending on other small libraries. And this is where node-ipc comes in, because that is very often a sub-dependency of other libraries. And that makes it so stealthy. So the list of applications that use it and that depend on it is very long. We could scroll here for ages. It's hundreds and hundreds. And that makes it so interesting because in most cases, you wouldn't check the sub-dependencies of your application. So it sneaks in and will start attacking. Now, it was so relevant that, of course, all major IT media reported on it. And the most interesting things happened on GitHub itself, where the code is hosted, because there's been huge amounts of issues and hate and comments going around. So this is just one issue with 478 comments in itself. And the author himself has been receiving so much hate for his actions. You can see the thumbs down. There's some really juicy and salty comments everywhere. And there's lots of anecdotes of people that report on what it has broken. I've picked out two. Now, just to give you a feeling for the whole thing. So one is a pupil, a student at school. And he said he had an online project and it wiped his hard drive. Now, of course, it can be absolutely devastating that your hard drive is wiped. On the other hand, there's whole families that are being wiped, so not too sure if that is the best of all arguments. But there's also another very interesting anecdote, and that is from an American NGO that monitors human rights infringements, mainly in post-Soviet states. And they hosted a server in Belarus and allowed whistleblowers and others to upload data to it. And the traffic has increased over 50-fold to the server itself. And the code wiped over 30,000 messages. And they believe that They can't recover any data, and this might as well been one of the last contacts to the outside world for many people that sent this data. Now, this has allegedly happened, but as somebody who has worked on several projects for the European Commission that were created to further free speech, free media, journalism in many countries that are, let's say, less democratic, I can say that this is quite believable. Maybe not in every single detail and with the numbers that are written down here, but there's quite a few NGOs out there that try to further the foundations of democracy by helping people being able to spread the idea and to give them the tools to do their work. Now, this is not creating revolutions, but it's making sure that people that treasure free speech, free media, and journalism, and the rule of law, that they have a little bit of outside help. And in many cases, I believe that it's a lot better than throwing bombs at people. So, all in all, this has impacted very many services and applications, maybe not the major ones that you would see here. And I believe that this is not the best way to go, because you will most probably hit all kinds of NGOs, NPOs, and services that have nothing to do with the whole thing. And I understand sanctions very well. They're a subject in itself. I'd like to touch on that some other time. But this is not a sanction. This is just random sabotage running around. And I don't think that this really helps the cause. So, thank you for listening. Thank you for enduring this analysis, and hope to see you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.